Hello and welcome to our beloved parishioners. I'm Bailee.
And I'm Ashley, and this is Praise Be to Pod.
Thank you so much for joining us. Ashley, what's on your heart?
Okay, so there's a we record our episodes far ahead of time because we have anxiety and big schedules. So just so you know, if this is over, this is my podcast. So
yeah,
shut up. So there's a new season of Great British Bake Off on Netflix right now. Have we ever talked about Great British Bake Off?
Nope.
Have you ever watched it?
Nope.
Really?
Correct.
Oh, then this isn't going to go very far, but I just want to say that it's insane.
Okay. I mean, I've heard wonderful things about it.
Okay, it's very heartwarming. It's a wonderful show. The best thing about it is that it's a competition show, but the reward is a plate. So nobody is like trying to foil the plans of another. Like they're always very helpful to each other and like a lot of camaraderie. It's really sweet.
I have heard that. And that's very darling.
The things I don't like about it is that this show's been going on for a long time, like, I don't know, 15 seasons or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still in a tent.
In a tent.
They're still baking in a tent. Why?
I don't know.
Get a studio.
Maybe they still want to look grassroots or something.
It's so dumb. They'll be like, oh, it's chocolate week. And it's 95 degrees outside. And then everyone's like, my chocolate is all melted. It's so dumb. Why is it not air conditioned?
I don't know. I mean, it probably like adds to like the suspense to have like the elements impacting your.
But it's stupid. We're trying to see who's the best baker. The best baker is not going to bake somewhere hot. They know that's stupid.
But like a kitchen could get hot and you have to navigate it.
No,
Kitchens don't get hot? Okay.
I took a baking class in France and they were like, number one thing you need is temperature control. That's why this baking place is in the basement.
Yeah.
Because it's cool down here. Like we could never make pastry that depends on butter being cold if we were somewhere warm.
Right.
Because then you don't have a flaky crust.
Right.
It makes me so mad.
Yeah.
They're setting them up to fail, number one. Number two, it's dumb. Number three, one of the judges that has been on the show since the beginning is Paul Hollywood. Some
terrible
hot
name.
shot bread guy.
Bread guy.
I hate him.
I hate a bread guy, you know?
I hate him so much. Everyone thinks he's so great because he has these like bright blue eyes. First of all, I don't trust him, like in general. And second of all, he yields this handshake that he gives out if someone's doing an amazing job. So all these poor little bakers who have full-time jobs and just do this competition on weekends in a tent are hoping they'll get a handshake from Paul Hollywood. And then when he gives it out, they're like, oh my God, he shook my hand. I got a handshake. I'm amazing. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's too much power. I don't like him.
Yeah.
I hate
don't
him.
like that either. It sounds like he's getting off on that.
He is. He loves the power he has in his handshake, in his judgmentalness.
Handshake. That is so cringe.
He's so annoying. I wish you watched it more so that you could talk about it with me.
I've heard that it's a very good like background show to have that's
totally.
somewhat heartwarming, and I think I need some of those. So I'd be open to it.
Any season. They're all great.
Okay.
You can step in anytime you want.
Anytime. Okay, that's actually a good idea. I need more shows like that.
You can watch one episode, then not watch the second one for 10 weeks. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Many seasons on Netflix.
I don't have Netflix though.
Okay. Well, we can fix that.
I don't think we can though, because I was on someone's Netflix and Netflix has cracked down on like having your different profiles that are under the same count.
Okay. Well, we'll see if there's another solution.
Okay. Well,
someday.
I would love to. I miss Netflix. It's just
I'm sure you could just write it off because we're talking about it right now. You need to watch Netflix to be on the podcast.
Okay, this is good. We should everything we want to buy. We should just mention it on the podcast. So like, I have to use it for a write-off.
How do you think that Amazon hasn't had a profit in like 10 years?
Amazon.
That exact same way.
Okay, good to know.
Corporate tax law is obscene, and I'm going to take advantage of it.
We should capitalize on that more.
Yes.
I love that.
I'm going to try to never pay taxes to this administration.
Yeah.
Just Tim Walz.
Just Tim Walz. I'll just write him a check specifically.
Anyway, I will do everything by the book, though. Don't worry. Nothing illegal.
Sure.
Just follow those same laws.
Even if you did illegal shit, I don't care. I do illegal shit all the time. It's so fun. What? You don't ever do that, Jacob?
No, it's just like There's 4 cameras on you. You're
don't
got the
care.
microphones in your face.
I don't care.
Nobody's listening.
We'll see you in court.
It's honestly so easy to
He's
do
going to be
illegal stuff.
deposed. All right. What about you? What's on your heart? Someone you hate?
Speaking of controversial. So I feel like it's actually not that controversial right now, but I had this idea before it came out.
One of those.
Yeah.
I had this feeling first.
For the last decade, I just don't fucking like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I get it.
And I just like don't understand why other people do. And I just like, I feel like it's one of those things where I'm like, it feels like the same thing with Trump, where it's like, has this person cast a spell on you?
Yeah.
Like, I will say this, like, do I like some of her songs? Yeah, some of them are fun. I like them.
Mhm.
I don't have an actual legitimate critique of her music. I just have a critique of how other people view it. Really? That's the best songwriting you've ever heard in your life.
It's embarrassing.
It literally seems like someone used ChatGPT to rhyme shit together, which has its time and place. Like, it's fine. But, like, how is this excellent in any capacity? Also, like, you can tell that she's running out of things to talk about because she hasn't had a super dynamic life. Like, she just got famous. That sounds boring as hell. She's engaged to a football player. I bet she doesn't have a lot to write about. And honestly, God bless her for it. If I could tap out of a complex life by marrying an NFL player, you don't think I would do that too? I would give up all of it to simplify it up here. All of it. So I don't blame her for it. It's just kind of like, you're just not excellent. And
Okay.
Isn't that okay?
Did I send you this amazing take on Taylor Swift? There was a podcast clip I saw on Instagram.
I think I've seen this one. I don't know if you've sent it to me, but I think
someone
I know
who
what you're
was
talking
like, Taylor Swift is a theater kid alcoholic who is cosplaying high school by dating the guy who was smoking in the alley, Maddie Healy, getting mad about it, and then like trying to one up him by dating the football star.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
And that like you're kind of stuck in the age that you got famous.
Yes, which I think is a thing we've talked about. Like, of course it is. Becoming famous has to be such a wild experience.
Yeah.
When you become famous, you are no longer getting the same social cues that help you adapt socially. Like, people aren't correcting you when you need to be corrected. If I were to act like a fool right now, I'd have 1,000 people. I don't even know 1,000 people. I would have 10 people be like, don't do that. Like, you're acting stupid.
Yeah.
And I'd be embarrassed.
But if you're a billionaire, they'll be like, keep going.
Keep going. And you don't, so you're not getting proper social correction.
Yeah.
And I also just think that she is so late to the game on everything. So everyone who acts like she's like some revolutionary artist, I was just like, she is like 10 years behind on everything. Like, there was remember when she was like gay? Like, when she went through that, and she capitalized on that by being like super pride focused during the, I don't know, height of Target pride.
Yes.
Like, it was literally so corporate. It was disgusting.
Yeah. It was like 2014 or something.
Literally, half the fucking evangelicals I knew were pro-gay at that point. Like, it wasn't revolutionary to be like, I don't think gay people should burn in hell for eternity. That feels like pretty obvious. Like, literally, like, it just like blew my mind so much. And then she, like, in her documentary was like, guys, I don't know, I think Trump is kind of a bad guy. And everyone's like, don't say that, it's so controversial. And she's like, no, I'm gonna take a stand. And I was like, take a fucking stand? Take a stand? Are you kidding me? Let me guess, the next thing you're gonna say is, war is bad. We should listen and love each other. Fuck you. It's so boring and annoying. Anyway, I just can't fucking stand it. And I think that she's a big problem. I think
there's been a lot of feedback that I haven't heard from her listeners before about this newest album release.
Well, that's why I said, like, what I'm saying right now isn't really that profound anymore, because I think a lot of people are like, what the fuck was that? But honestly, her latest album sounds like all of her other albums to me.
Well, the biggest problem is like what everyone's going through right now in this country, and how like people don't have jobs and don't have money.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, buy my sweater, buy my album, buy my record, buy my other color of my record, buy this, buy that, buy a huge ticket to my thing and then go to this movie and then watch this other thing.
Right.
It's just like a little bit tone deaf.
Oh,
And she's
always.
just like so greedy.
She's very greedy, and also like I think in her music she's so petty, and I don't mind a petty bitch, but like like I'm sorry, with everything going on, do you really think any of us care that like Charlie XCX said like a mildly mean thing to you? And also she called you what, boring Barbie, so you're like, haha, you have a coke addiction. Like I'm sorry, like that is so intense. It's like you are a boring Barbie.
I
Like,
totally
it's
agree.
okay. It's okay.
I've never been on the Taylor Swift train, but like some of her music is catchy and I like it. This newest album was embarrassing. I listened to the first half and I was like, how is this real? Like,
that's how all of
it's
her
a
music
joke
is to me, except for when she was like really young and
Yeah.
like Speak Now was lovely and cute. And
Yeah.
like I like a lot of those cute songs when she was age appropriate.
right.
It was age appropriate for her to be writing about that at 16.
But I did see a lot of like vitriol online from the evangelicals.
Oh,
About
what did they
how-
have to say?
Yeah.
I'm super curious now.
About how like Taylor Swift was allowed to be listened to when she was young because she was young.
Yes.
But now she's talking about spreading her thighs. And we can't let little girls idolize her anymore.
That's not true at all. Nobody cares that she's like sexually liberated. The best part of her
The
album,
evangelicals care.
the best
Women
part
can't
of
like
her
sex.
album is when she talked about Travis Kelce's dick. And then afterwards, I was like, I actually was curious about like what he had packing down there, but now that I know, okay, move on. That was interesting to me, I must say. I was wondering this whole time, and I'm glad that someone finally spoke up about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, but like I would like to see a more sexually liberated Taylor, but she's just so.
She's not interesting enough.
She's not
Just let Charlie XCX do it, you know?
she's
and
not.
Dua Lipa.
I think that she's like, okay, have you guys ever heard of women's liberation? I'm gonna be like, to me, I'm just like, yeah, we've been talking about the like. It's
For,
like
like,
she's
100
so
years.
delayed in like everything she's doing that she's like, I'm like, yeah, maybe that would have been meaningful 10 years ago. But like now we're doing a different thing. It's just so, I just cannot believe that someone with so much access to resources and stories and education could be so fucking dense. That's a decision. You have made a fucking
Is she
choice.
educated?
No, but like you can still read an article. She could even get into like conspiracy theories. Like she just has nothing. I don't know. I don't want to be that bitch. I've already talked too much about it. Let's move the fuck along.
Did Taylor Swift go to college? No.
No, of course. Why would she? Did she even? I don't know.
She received an honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from NYU.
An honorary doctorate. You know who else has an honorary doctorate? Joyce Myers.
Yeah, but she's a wonderful lady.
She's nice, but
She's doing more for the world than Taylor Swift.
possibly. Anyway, I just, that's all I have to say about that. Also, one more thing before we move on. I don't know how much you know about the Olivia Rodrigo stuff where she like threatened to sue her. And
Oh,
basically
I know a
put
lot. I
her
love
in-
Olivia. I love her.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was so inappropriate. First off, the song is not the same.
No.
And also, even if it was, that required a phone call being like, hey, girl, your song kind of sounds like mine. We don't do that in this industry. Like a cease and desist would have been more appropriate than literally cracking down on a 16-year-old girl as a woman in your late 20s. You're a predator. She's a predator. That's
Going hard.
predatory. But she doesn't think of herself as a powerful person, so she thinks that she can attack people that way. And it's like, no, you are literally almost a white man. You cannot be coming down on like an up-and-coming artist like that. You have to mentor them, not attack them. But if you have a victim complex that like precedes time and space, of course you're going to be like, I have to make a stand against this fucking insect of an artist.
Yeah, she is Olivia Rodrigo's Scooter Braun.
Yes. Oh, interesting. The victim becomes the predator.
Wow. Okay, so if we time this correctly, you will be having had your Thanksgiving dinner
Yeah.
last Thursday.
If I survive it.
If we all survived.
Yeah.
And now you might be thinking, what even is Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Is
Who
that
is
what
she?
you're thinking? Who's she?
Mhm.
Well, guess what it starts with? The Puritans, another cult that I love, which when I did my research, it said we can't consider it a cult. There's a lot of things that don't align, but you know what? It's pretty culty.
Smells like a cult if the shoe fits.
Anyway, today we're going to talk about Puritans, and I have a game. It's a Would You Rather Puritan edition. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, would you rather attend a 5-hour Puritan sermon every Sunday or pay a fine and be publicly shamed for skipping church?
Is the like skipping church public fine also like repetitive and consistent, or is it just a one-time thing?
Well, every time that you miss, it could lead to fines or corporal punishment.
I would think I would just stick through this sermon.
Mm.
I already did that growing up, and I had literally so many fun little stories going on in my head the whole time. All my good ideas came from sitting in church while people were praying in tongues over me. I'm like, how cool would a movie be about a spider and a this?
Yeah, I would always be like, oh, what could I work on while I'm sitting in church?
Yeah.
Like I would bring like note.
I always bring a
pads or,
notepad and like write my grocery list.
Yeah. Or like a game on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in my current church, I love it so much, but it taps me into my own like creativity. So a lot of my best ideas come during my sermon.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Would you rather be accused of witchcraft because your neighbor's cow died or because your bread rose too perfectly?
Neighbor's cow died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Why?
I think there's something a little bit more alluring of dark magic.
Okay. Fact. Both were genuine accusations used as evidence in witch trials.
Really?
Yes. Number 3.
It's literally women's excellence.
Yes.
Like, that's interesting.
And men's unexcellence.
Incompetency.
Incompetency.
There you go.
Number 4. Would you rather marry a stranger chosen by your church elders or remain single, and be viewed as suspicious or sinful?
I know that everyone wants me to choose the latter because that's the feminist take. But honestly, the sex sounds so hot in the first scenario. I would love for someone to be like, I can't marry this man. Oh my God. That sounds spicy. That's what I want. As long as he like does it, as long as I get to do what I want to do and he's just there, that's fine with me.
Wow, redeeming love.
I honestly really like having a boyfriend is fun. Because then you get your little fix and then you get to go out into the world.
Okay.
That's like, they're like fuel. If you view them as like you're harvesting their energy and then like you move on, you're just like
so crazy.
You're just like, okay, here we go. We're going to go to work now.
All right. Fact. Marriage was considered a moral duty and often arranged within church-approved limits.
That sounds about right.
You love.
I could thrive in it. I don't think
All
it's
right.
probably good, but I could have made it work.
All right. Would you rather be punished for gossiping or for missing a public day of fasting and humiliation?
Probably the fasting one.
Both could lead to public shaming or fines. Gossip was considered a spiritual threat to community order.
That just sounds like me. A spiritual threat to community order. So I feel like I've been there before.
Would you rather spend 1 year as a Puritan midwife blamed for every infant death
Ooh.
or as a minister's wife held responsible for his moral failures?
Am I getting laid in either of these scenarios?
You'd be a minister's wife, but he's also having moral failures.
What are these moral failures? Is it just an
It's
affair?
always affairs.
But is it like predatory
Sometimes
affairs? Like
gay.
That's fine. If he's just like if he's fucking other consenting adults,
Okay.
I literally don't care.
Okay.
I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, don't care.
Okay.
Like, do what you got to do, and I will have my little hobbies on the side as well.
Okay.
He cheats on me. I have a podcast. Like, we all have
Perfect.
everything. Yep.
Okay. Fact. Women were often scapegoated for both physical and spiritual misfortune, reflecting deep misogyny in Puritan society.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today we are talking about Thanksgiving and the Puritans because I think it helps us understand a little bit of how we got to where we are now.
I agree. Can I view this?
You
outline
can
now?
now view. Yes.
Here we go.
All right. So we inherited this lovely mythical story, where we get around the table and we tell the story of pilgrims, freedom, gratitude, harmony. But what if the roots of Thanksgiving tell a very different story? One about fear, divine punishment, and religious control.
And genocide.
Thanksgiving isn't just a holiday. It's a mirror reflecting the religious psychology that shaped early America. And I think where we are now.
I would agree.
So I went into some deep historic research, which has been my new hobby because I need history lessons.
You've been doing a really great job, though. These outlines are very thorough.
They're too thorough, and sometimes I get lost in them because I was like, oh, what does that mean? Let me research that. Let me put all those notes in here. It's crazy.
Gotcha.
So anyway, as always, we will have references in the show notes, and we will thank Wikipedia and the rest of the internet for helping me find the information. And if it's wrong, you can tell me, but I don't care. Okay,
We're not open to feedback.
we're just girls.
Yeah.
Okay, so this all started back in the 1500s in England. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what's going on then?
It was probably something really bad.
Okay, Henry VIII was reigning.
Oh, so he was like killing wives and grabbing new ones.
I think so.
Yeah.
Exactly. He wanted the Catholic Church to reform. So instead, he just like got away from the Catholic Church and then went to form the Church of England.
Because he wanted to be able to like get divorced.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. History girl.
Yeah.
Not because theology, but because he wanted a divorce.
Yes, because
and
he
it
kept
was
being
not okay.
dissatisfied. He had to like behead all his wives, and he was like, "Ugh, boring. Let's bring divorce." into this."
Pervert. So the Church of England kept many Catholic features like priests, rituals, ornate ceremonies, and hierarchical power.
Mm-hmm.
And then enters the Puritans. They wanted to purify the English church of all of the elements having to do with the Pope. So stained glass, hierarchy, saints, they didn't like it. They wanted him to go further away from the Catholic Church.
Okay.
The Church of England to be this new church that didn't have any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
They emphasized piety, Bible reading, which I didn't know was really happening this early.
That actually really surprises me. I feel like that I understand that that was part of the Protestant like
Right.
difference is that like there was more personal authority in a relationship with God. And you didn't have to have a priest be your like intercessor and
Right.
to like read the Bible for you.
Yes.
But I didn't even think literacy was probably a thing at
I
this
know.
point. So I must be
So maybe there's more to tell.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't have notes on that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so then we move forward into Queen Elizabeth I and King James I. They are Puritans that faced hostility.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted more reform within the church, which was tolerated for a little bit, but then became the separatists. So there were Puritans and separatists. Oftentimes, they are both referred to as Puritans.
Okay.
So the Puritans wanted to change
From
within the church. They wanted to transform it. The separatists wanted a whole new division instead.
Got it.
They didn't want to fix what was broken. They just wanted to make a new
Start
one.
anew. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the government saw separatism as rebellion. And then church attendance was mandatory by law. Okay.
Wild. Can
So
you
then
imagine?
Puritan ministers were imprisoned, and then a bunch of people fled to the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to be in England. I'm going over there to.
What was
where-
happening in the Netherlands at this time?
Oh,
Was
good
there more
question.
religious freedom?
Good question. Life in the Netherlands.
That's literally a next segment. That was actually a natural question. I
love that for
Yeah.
us.
That means your outline's good.
That means I spent too long on it late at night. Okay, so good question about life in the Netherlands. I don't have tons of notes, but I do know that they fled to the Netherlands in the early 1600s, and they found some cultural freedom because Dutch society was a lot more liberal, but their children started assimilating to this liberal Netherlandic society.
Okay.
And they were like, oh no, they're not going to have their English identity anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be religiously strict anymore. Also, that accent.
Great accent. Wow.
That I
Chills.
don't need to go into linguistics. It's so boring. Okay. So they made a radical choice. They were like, let's leave Europe and form a pure Christian commonwealth in the New World. The New World being
The
Americas.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they hop on the Mayflower. And in 1620, around 100 passengers hopped on the Mayflower, and only 40 were true separatists. The rest were migrants and adventurers going to the New World. Before landing, they drafted the Mayflower Compact, a covenant agreeing to govern themselves under God's law. This document wasn't democratic. It was just a religious contract, a promise to uphold divine order.
Mm-hmm.
And they landed north of Virginia, which became Plymouth,
Plymouth Rock. Yeah.
on, oh wait, I have this written down somewhere else, on Wampanoag land. Wampanoag land.
Is that the
An
name
indigenous-
of the tribe?
Indigenous tribe. And then once they reached Wampanoag land, they had their first winter in north of Virginia.
Yeah.
So they
They
were
weren't used to an American winter yet.
No.
Yeah.
an an East Coaster, I think is what they call it.
Yeah.
A Northeast coaster.
So they probably did it like in England, like it got rainy, and
rainy,
shit, but
chilly.
yeah, nothing like this though.
So then half the settlers died the first winter of disease and starvation. But the native people helped them survive, teaching them to plant corn and find local food. Like they kind of taught them how to make it. And if they wouldn't have, the whole colony would have collapsed. So they didn't have a lot of people.
In hindsight, that's just so devastating to think
I
that
know.
like they were like, if we're talking about the first Thanksgiving, yes, the indigenous people met us with gratitude and with hospitality, but it was not returned.
Does it make you think of someone else we've talked about recently? Joseph Smith.
Oh yes. I was like, who?
These are his
Ashley? Are you
ancestors.
talking about me?
No. Okay, so then that 1620, they go on the Mayflower. They make it through the winter. Then the next fall is when they have the 1621 feast, the harvest celebration. So in fall of 1621, after their first successful harvest, they taught them to plant all the corn and then they grew it and then now they're harvesting it. The colonists and about 90 indigenous people shared a 3-day meal. It was not called Thanksgiving. It was a harvest festival, something both cultures celebrated in their own way. So the Puritans' actual day of Thanksgiving were fast days, and they were religious observances after war victories and droughts ending. Like we've confused it with this idea
So it
of
was a
this feast
fast.
because they actually called the day of Thanksgiving a fast.
Interesting.
And what we now consider Thanksgiving, they would be appalled by.
Right, because it's literally like,
It's like complete gluttony.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting to me.
So over time, the Puritan leaders declared Day of Thanksgiving after successful military campaigns, including many massacres of Native people.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of gotten shifted throughout the years, but I'm jumping over a lot of history just to get us to where we need to go.
Yep.
So the early colonial concept of Thanksgiving was tied to divine favor and conquest, not communal gratitude.
Yeah. Manifest destiny type shit.
Yes, that's in my notes.
Is it?
Okay. So the Puritan mindset was definitely a religion of fear and control. It was not this like, oh, we just want religious freedom and we want to be able to believe what we want and have our own ideas. That is not what the Puritans were about.
No.
And maybe what other settlers were about, but not the Puritan people.
Yeah.
Or the separatist people who are now kind of just both lumped into Puritans. So the Puritans believed in Calvinism, the idea that God predestined who would be saved or damned before birth. But no one could know if they were saved, so they lived in constant fear and anxiety, searching for signs of grace. There was a lot of like moral perfection, confession, and obedience that were ways to like prove if you were saved or not. And they really believed that the community's survival depended on purity. So sin was not just your own sin; it was everyone's sin.
Communal.
Like God would smite the whole community if one person was sinning, which is what led to like the Salem witch trials.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about that, but continue.
So because of this, church attendance was mandatory.
Okay.
Like everyone had to go to church.
We all should be in on this.
Yeah,
kind
like
of a
all
thing.
those things I was talking about in the game, like those are real things that were happening because it was very important to them to be a community that was pure.
Yeah.
Not just you were saved yourself. It was like if you're not saved, no one's saved.
Yeah.
Okay. Which also, like tangent, leads into the ideology behind Mormon families.
Yeah.
Because the Puritans are Joseph Smith's ancestors.
Yeah.
Like a couple generations, like not even that far back.
Yeah.
Like these are the ideas that were going around 100 years, 200 years before him.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're not saved on your own. You have to be saved by your family.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say though, that is more common in Christianity than I think people realize. And I think that like individualism has been like a more like John Wayne Rogue
It's very Western
Americana
for
thing.
sure. Yeah.
But like in all, like that is not unique. Generational curses, ancestral trauma, like cursing your entire family because of an action you did is so prevalent. And to be honest, like in my own spiritual life, I actually agree. Not like in the purity sense. Like I think we should all be getting laid. Don't get me wrong. But I do think
we know you think that.
yes. Is that been made evident in this episode? I think more like, I think that, like, for instance, that racism is a generational curse.
Mhm.
I think that there are people who face the, like, divine punishment of having ancestors who had slaves. I really believe that, actually, which I know is kind of archaic, but that would be aligned with a lot of spiritual expressions.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel particularly fair because of how individualistic we are. Like,
Right.
I've got my own,
Right.
but, like, I actually am kind of headed more towards, like, generational and, like, people group type of, like, trauma and,
Yeah.
like, punishment and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Okay, so there were a few famous dissenters to this new idea of Puritan community. One is Anne Hutchinson.
A woman.
Anne Hutchinson was an English-born Puritan who migrated to the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1634. She held and taught that individuals could receive direct revelation from God, a radical challenge to the Puritans' clergy's authority. Puritan leaders saw her teaching as heretical and socially destabilizing, especially because she was a woman speaking publicly to mixed genders. And she was tried for her heresy in 1637, convicted and banished from the colony. And she later settled in what is now Rhode Island, where she was eventually killed in an attack. She became a symbol of religious dissent and women's challenge to male-dominated church authority. And then we also have Roger Williams. So Roger was also an English-born Puritan. He was a minister who arrived in Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1631. So 1631 for him and 1634 for her. So they may have overlapped.
Yeah, ships in the night, probably.
And he advocated for religious liberty, separation of church and state, and fair dealings with the Native Americans. So
Okay.
pretty progressive for his time.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I would think people think today. He insisted that the state should not enforce religious orthodoxy, and his criticism of taking indigenous land angered the colonial authorities.
Wow, he really was ahead of his. This isn't obviously remarkable today, but, like, I'm sure
Very ahead of his
contextually, this
time,
is
yes.
like prophetic almost.
He was exiled from the colony in 1635, and he founded the settlement of Providence, Rhode Island, which became known for religious tolerance. And I would kind of think that today, like, the Northeast is very,
Yeah.
like,
More academic.
academic, reasonable.
Yep.
Outside of Boston. Williams is remembered as a pioneer of religious freedom and separation of church and state in America. So there were more people that had these ideas. It wasn't just everyone was agreeing with Puritans. There was people who were dissenting and arguing, but they were often disbanished.
Yeah.
So there were other groups going along at the same time. Because I think the visual that I've always been taught is like they came
They were
across
so
in the
unified.
Mayflower. They were all one little group. They all agreed. And that's the only people that were here.
United on a common vision of religious freedom because
Yeah.
they were, like, refugees of England.
Right.
Yeah.
Not true. And there were lots of people who disagreed with them. They formed other colonies that
Yeah.
later,
13 of them.
yes, exactly. That later became what is now the people who wrote the Constitution, things like that.
Yeah.
So the Puritans started to frame the wars against indigenous nations as holy wars. So I put quotes over that for
Yeah.
those not watching. They kind of saw disease, death, or victory as evidence of God's favor.
Which is crazy because they're the ones who brought disease to the Americas.
Right. And then in sermons, ministers would say that God cleared the wilderness by sending plagues to native.
They brought
Populations.
the fucking Sorry.
This is a chilling example of theological rationalization for genocide.
Holy shit.
So this theology of divine election, of being chosen, pure, justified, didn't stay in the 1600s. Like, this is still in America's subconscious. Like,
Totally.
this is God's country. We're blessed by God.
Yeah.
We have God's favor. It's still going on.
We act, and therefore that acts become righteous because
Right.
it's what we did. Yes.
So a big phrase that became something that people would talk about a lot is a city upon a hill,
Yep.
which became American self-image. Like, this is a nation chose by God to be a moral example.
Which is in the Bible, a city on a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John Winthrop kind of brought it to the colloquial
Yep. Zeitgeist.
zeitgeist.
There you go.
This evolved into what you mentioned before as manifest destiny. So this is the belief that expansion and conquest were divine will. So manifest destiny was the belief that the United States was divinely chosen to expand across the North American continent from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and that this expansion was justifiable and inevitable, and anyone who got in the way, they were just a part of destiny.
Yeah. Wow.
It's sick. So it provided a justification for the Mexican-American War, the displacement and genocide of Native Americans, the spread of Anglo-American culture and Protestant culture. It framed U.S. imperialism as religious and moral duty rather than just political
Self-interest.
and economic and self-interest to have whatever you want.
Right. Because like we literally even operate today. It's like we're demonstrating like the will of God and the betterment of the world by this action when it's literally just oil.
Exactly.
Like, oh, that's so upsetting.
So the idea of American exceptionalism that we hear every day, all day, is rooted in Puritan conventional thinking.
Wow.
So the Puritans were obsessed with moral cleanliness, the prosperity gospel, and honestly, Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
Puritan nationalism. I think that our myths today about like just being the best country in the world, it's like the same psychological tools the Puritans used.
It's just like a parasite that won't die.
Yeah.
It just latches on to like a new thing to suck the life out of.
So like obviously there's a lot more to say about Puritan practices and culture and things like that, but I didn't really go into that. It was more about the history because it's a Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah.
And I didn't know necessarily really why they came here. Like when I was a missionary and it was Thanksgiving, I had to teach an episode. I had to teach a class on Thanksgiving because it was an American holiday and I was teaching cross-cultural students. So I would always tell the story as a missionary that the Puritans fled England because of persecution.
Yep.
And they came to the United States so that they could freely express what they wanted for their religion.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true, but kind of not true. It's kind of like how Joseph Smith was persecuted.
It feels like, honestly, the like weaponization of the word freedom today, which is just like I want my personal liberties and freedom, but it's really just like the freedom to withhold the freedoms of others. But it's all looped together with like, I'm just like my personal opinion, liberty, freedom, like all this kind of stuff is just like, it is so anti-freedom really. But it like that is the like blanket, like the wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thing.
I think one of the biggest changes that comes from the Puritan ideology to ours today is we've shifted to such an individualistic space. And without that, if you're going to have these like really crazy, strict moral rules for a group, at least it keeps them contained.
Yeah.
And it doesn't continue to spread like a virus.
Yeah.
But when that becomes individual ideas, it becomes a virus.
Well, and like if I had to like, this is just like a theory, but like today I feel like there's this push to get people having more kids and having larger families again, which I feel is like, you know, you still like a family is a container, but if you combine that with individualism, you get the wildfire spread of individualism with the like growth of a large family. It just like that is wildfire for an ideology. Like having both of those working together, like the expansion of family and also just like the rugged rogueness of individualism, like, oof.
Yeah.
It's like our nation's being seized by this.
So it's really interesting. Like I didn't always put those things together. And then also all the research I did on Joseph Smith, this is what he came from. And it makes so much more sense.
This is really excellent, Ashley.
Yeah.
Good, nice work.
Thank you.
I like feel like I learned a lot from this and you really like, I can tell that you are been an educator before.
Oh, thank you.
This is like pulled together really concisely in a way that I don't think I would have been able to do.
Well, and I need to learn some history. So
but like
I taught myself some history.
Yeah. Sometimes you like the best way to learn is by like teaching other people stuff.
Yeah.
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 This
That's
is
how
really-
I had to
this
learn
is really
English
helpful.
grammar.
I don't think I've had a breakdown like this so concisely
Oh, thank you.
before. Like I've read big books, but then I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Like what is it? The like something history of the world. I can't remember. Never mind.
I do have a full timeline for anyone interested. We can we can put it on our website or something or wherever makes sense. If you want to know more, I'm not going to go through that because it's long and boring, but it starts in the early 1500s and then, you know, like with Martin Luther and then ends with the U.S. Constitution being signed.
Wow.
So
Looking at
it
it
is
right now.
interesting, I think, but I would never do it verbally because you need to see those kind of things.
I agree. I think like a timeline is best like consumed visually.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So anything else to add here?
No, this has been really thorough and excellent. Nice work.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for this Thanksgiving themed episode. I hope you had a good turkey day. Blessed are the listeners, for they shall inherit gratitude for learning, honesty, and spiritual growth, the opposite of Puritan fear. Find us on praisebetopod.com on the web and praisebetopod on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. It is finished. Goodbye.
Bye.